starting recording.
Okay.
Still starting recording. Oh, we've started. Here we go. Professional as always.
Yeah.
Intro music. I'll have to add that in separately. Right. Welcome to the Sales and Marketing for Decorators podcast. My name's John Mears, and I am once again joined by the wonderfully beautiful, exceptionally marvellous decorator, brilliantly gifted podcaster,
Where's this going?
legend, Trev Mangan. How are you, mate?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Do you like the continually grander and grander intros?
It just goes up and up and up, doesn't it? Every week. It's just there's just more and more to live up to. It's getting a bit worrying, to be honest.
I got a new mic this week. What do you reckon?
I know. Look, it does look the business.
It's not plugged in, but it looks good, doesn't
it? I'm expecting big things this week from this podcast. Now you got that. I really am.
This is Amazon special. This
is it?
Absolutely, yeah. 35 quid.
No, it's good.
Yeah, this podcast is already losing money, so.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. Don't worry. Join the club.
Oh dear. What have you been on with this week? Anything interesting?
I am still concentrating on trying to get the marketing up together, getting that on board. Not doing a lot. I've been pretty choosy where I'm going and what I'm doing. So, well, actually, even more choosy than I normally am.
Good.
But yeah, got some work starting soon. But yeah, not doing a great deal. But spending the more time on the admin and the marketing and just making sure processes are in place and bits and pieces like that, really. So
excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. So less time on the brush,
tools.
More time working on the business.
How's your week been? What have you been up to?
Good, yeah. Still not allowed to leave the house. Well, I'm allowed to leave the house, but still working from home, I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started talking to myself a lot. I don't know if as a decorator, you spend a lot of time on your own. Is that normal?
Talking to myself and singing to myself. It's a combination of the two. So
talking to the radio, I do that a lot.
Yeah, it's
I've got all day.
No, it's the thing, and it is. I think that is the one thing about well, I suppose more and more people have found it really is working on your own. If you've got a family around you at home, but yeah, I do since Ryan's left and we don't work together as much as we used to. Yeah, it does get a bit monotonous and a bit boring, but yeah, that's one of those things you have to overcome, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I started doing. I started going out for a walk at lunch, only like 10-15 minutes. Might go to the shop and get a sandwich or something like that, but I found just that getting away from where you are, going for a walk for 10-15 minutes, you come back in just a much better, fresher state of mind. It makes it a lot easier to deal with.
I had a manager once who said exactly the same. He used to get, regardless of what was going on in the branch, he said, if you need to get away for an hour, and he was religious that every day he got his hour of a break, and he's right. Same with decorators. You see all these 7-day weekend warriors and. Yeah, that's a whole new topic though.
Yeah, you need to take the breaks, don't you? Because you just come. Yeah. If you don't take it, then you're just not as efficient, not as effective. So you need to take those breaks, and then when you come back, you'll just work much faster.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, you're right. That's we're wandering off topic already.
Excellent, like a proper podcast.
Exactly. So today's question, Trev.
Yes.
We are going to try and tackle Is word of mouth a marketing strategy for decorators? Is it a good marketing strategy for decorators?
I'm firmly in the no, it's not camp. Absolutely. It's word of mouth is good for your ego and it makes you feel good, but as a long-term marketing strategy, I tend to disagree and think no, it's not. And you being the marketing expert, John, what is your opinion?
Yeah, I am completely in agreement. Word of mouth is important. You need to have it. Your reputation is very important, especially in a trade where you need to be known for being reliable, honest, and doing a good job. So you need it for your business, but it's not a strategy. It's not, and I don't I would never class it as a strategy, a marketing strategy, because you can't rely on it, you can't scale it. It's just completely out of your control. And I think the
You, yeah,
most damaging thing about it is that decorators and a lot of businesses see word of mouth as the pinnacle of business. That's it. That's when you've made it. When you don't need to advertise anymore because you're word of mouth and you're always getting recommendations. When you get to that point, that's when you've made it. And I think that is a very dangerous misconception for any business to think that they can sit back and rest on word of mouth, because it can all just get stripped away from you the next day. You can't rely on people referring you to friends, and often you'll end up getting jobs that you don't really want because you've been recommended to someone you don't want to. I mean, what have you found with it? How much of
well,
your work do you think comes from word of mouth?
I get a percentage from word of mouth, but I like, as you say, with word of mouth, you're very much reactive and not proactive. You know, you're sitting there waiting for them to phone you.
Mm.
You're not out there actually making. You're not actually out there making your own luck and making your own leads.
Yeah, I think that is very important. A lot of people get really stressed about being self-employed, and people dress it up as, when you don't know where your next lot of work's coming from, it's very stressful. And if you're relying on word of mouth, exactly as you said, you're waiting for the phone to ring. You're not in control of the situation, and that's why people get stressed and they get worried and they get anxious because they don't know when the next work's coming in. And it's such a dangerous position to be in. And I think we need to show people that, I think people need to understand that you don't have to be stressed and worried about your business. That's not just part of being self-employed. You can take control by building systems in your marketing so that you've got reliable ways of getting new customers, word of mouth being one of them. But I think you need to have multiple marketing streams and multiple ways of generating customers.
And this is why I'm quite big at the moment about email marketing, and you know, a lot of other people rely on Checker Trade or Bidvine, Bark,
Yeah,
My Builder. It's just all very well. I mean, they are good for like infill jobs, and if you're a bit quiet, but you shouldn't be relying on those for your leads, for your work. If I mean, I don't know if they will, but if Checker Trade stop trading tomorrow and it all went wrong, where would you get your leads then? What would you be doing? Have another, use Checker Trade, but then have something in the background that's also supporting that, so that you're in control of, that you can turn on and off. Like you were saying the other day about Facebook ads. Get something like that, or just use your social media more. Be more proactive in that. Just have something on the back burner, keeping your name out there.
Yeah, I think it's the problem with word of mouth is that everyone thinks because that's the pinnacle, you can just 100% of your business can come from that. People get comfortable, and then when the phone stops ringing, they go into full panic mode and they start spending money here, there, and everywhere. They don't really know what they're doing because they've not been consistently marketing for quite a while. Personally, I think to make any sort of business secure, any business I've worked for and things like the blog and everything that I do, I like to have at least 4 or 5 ways of generating new customers.
Yes.
So that might be Facebook ads, Google ads, writing blogs. It might, word of mouth will be one of those, your website, leaflets. You've got to have your Checker Trade might be one of those, like you say, but you've got to remember that at any given point, Checker Trade might turn off, or everyone might leave Facebook because a new shiny, brilliant social media network comes along, and all of a sudden no one's on Facebook anymore. So you can't be 100% reliant on anything. I think it's fine to do like an 80-20 rule, where if 80% of your work comes from word of mouth because you find that's the best and that's the easiest and it gives you the jobs you like doing, then fine. But 20% of your work at least should be coming from other streams. Or if 80% of your marketing budget is spent on Facebook, then spend 20% of your marketing budget on other things, just so you've always got your fingers in a few pies. And if that main focus of yours stops delivering, you can quickly then dial up something else that can generate you some new business.
Yeah, I mean, this is my favourite. This is one of my things that I encourage people to do as well. Is don't always think you're earning money when you've got a brush or a roller in your hand. I'm a big advocate of taking off a Friday or a Friday afternoon to spend on all your admin. And this is why decorators panic when they've got no work, is because they don't plan for it. They've got nothing in place. They haven't taken that one day a week to actually concentrate on the admin side of their business. They need to do that. It's just because you don't get up and put your overalls on and go out in your van. Spend the day, knocking around the house, doing a bit of even if you spend half a day a week is better than no days a week.
Yeah.
And then what you'll find is as you do it, you'll get better at it. You'll be better than Dave down the road who's not bothering. So
yeah, I mean, I'm a big advocate that basically you don't make your money when you've got a brush in your hand. At that point, you've already made the sale. You sell your services before you even open a tin of paint. So actually doing the job is just the process. That's the finalising, getting the money. But the business side of it and where you actually make a success of what you're doing is your marketing and the selling you do before you actually get a brush in your hand. And I think it's like, it almost goes back to what we were saying at the start, where you need to take your hour lunch break so that you come back recharged. You need to take weekends off so that you're more efficient in the week. I think a lot of people would find if they booked off half a day on a Friday and dedicated that half a day to all of their admin and their marketing and stuff like that, they'd probably find that they end up getting better quality jobs and more regular work and stuff like that, because otherwise they're just getting too busy doing the job, too busy working in the business when they should be working on the business is the term, isn't it?
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, it's easier said than done, I know.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, like I say, even if you can dedicate a few hours on a Friday afternoon, just try it for a month and see see if it improves. If it does, take a few courses. There's loads of online courses. Take a few of those, in sales or marketing or something. Just, I've started doing that recently, and it does make a big difference if you actually dedicate yourself to taking notes and writing down, what you're learning. It does make a big difference. It only takes. You've only got to do a little bit more than the people around you to make a big difference.
It's a bit of a leap, though, isn't it? It's a bit of a leap of faith, because I think for people that are pretty much reliant on word of mouth, they never want to turn down work, which makes them end up being busier and busier, and that's why they work in weekends, and then they don't have time for their marketing and stuff like that. But I think you've certainly found recently, haven't you, but by taking a little bit of a step back and focusing a bit more time on your marketing, has then allowed you to be choosier on the jobs you do, so that you're making as much money
by doing
less work. And there is a leap of faith there, because a lot of people will think, well, if you start turning down jobs, then you're bang in trouble. But once you start focusing on the marketing, you'll realize that you're always going to have a steady stream of work coming in, and you can afford to be pickier, and you can afford to work less and earn more,
because you've got the confidence of knowing that there will be inquiries. You're more confident than you would be if you had relied on word of mouth, or you're relying on checker trade to phone call. You know that your marketing efforts, you can put in more effort. You can spend spend an extra hour in the evening making posts on Facebook and encouraging people to come and sign up for whatever you're giving away.
You
can sort of, to a degree, the more effort you put in, the sort of luckier you become.
So what have you found is most effective? Do you try and dedicate like one day a week as an admin day, or do you do a couple of hours each day, or how do you work it?
I try and do a couple of hours each day. So, you know, whether that's up here early in the morning or when I get in from work, normally early in the morning before I go to work is normally the best time.
Mhm.
But yeah, and if I can't, then I do normally most of my jobs anyway, sort of I finish on a sort of Thursday-ish, maybe, you know, Friday morning. So I do tend to get a Friday free. And I mean, I'm in a sort of bit more of a fortunate position than some blokes because, you know, I've got a flipping house full of mouths to feed. All my kids are left home, so I'm in a little bit of a better position. So I do understand what it's like when you're trying to bring up a family, and you do have to work 7 days a week to, you know, because you want to get but there is a fine balance between, you know, getting to that place where you're confident that you can put up your prices and you can take a bit more time. I mean, even if you can't afford to do you know, to spend the time, maybe, you know, encourage your missus to do a little bit for you, you know, to see if she can help out or, you know, see if you can work together. Probably not a good thing, but
no, but I mean, tax benefits to that, though.
Yeah, exactly. There are ways around it.
You can take your wages off.
There are ways around it. I mean, like I say, give it a go for a month, and if it, you know, see if it improves.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of doing little and often. Half an hour, 15 minutes a day, every day, doing something where you're working on the business. I think, I mean, personally, I try and I've got 3 things that I try and do every single day, and I know that if I do them every day consistently, it will start making a big long-term difference. So for me, it's write something every day, whether it's 15 minutes writing a blog or writing a bit of a new book or whatever. Write something, talk to a customer, usually you. always talk to a customer in some capacity, so I can learn more about the customer's challenges, what they want. That helps me stay in touch with the industry and make sure that what I'm delivering is still useful and relevant. And then do something on social media. So whether it's I post something on social media or make a comment or something like that. So those 3 things: write, talk to a customer, and post something on social media. Those 3 things on their own is not much, but if I know that if I do that every day, 365 days a year, it totals up to a huge difference. It gives me, that's a lot of writing I'll get done. It's a lot of customers I'll have spoken to. It's a lot of social media presence I'll have built up. And yeah, it takes me 15-20 minutes every day, and it's usually the first 3 things I do before I even start working. And I think if Decorators got into that sort of mindset, just thought, right, what are 3 things I can do today to grow my business, and just get into a habit of doing those little things every single day and every single morning, I think that's all you'd need to do.
Yeah, and over a week it would grow, and over a month it'd, you know, like you say, it'd make a difference, and over a year you'd be quite surprised with what you come up with, you know. So doing something is better than doing nothing, you know.
Yeah. And it's just getting started, isn't it? I think I think a lot of people put off marketing and Facebook ads or whatever it might be because it seems quite big and complicated, and then when they try it, they go at it for like 6 hours straight and spend hundreds of thousands and thousands of pounds, and then they're like, oh shit, it didn't work. Whereas if they just sort of chipped away at it 15 minutes a day every day, the compounding effects would be huge.
Yeah, it is. It's like I had a job once where I had to cold call, and you know they were expecting me to cold call for 8 hours a day. You can't do that. You can't cold call for 8 hours a day, because it just wears you out. You know, you could do it in bursts, like 2-hour sessions. Do it at that, and then do something else for an hour. Then go back and do another hour. You know, you can't do 8 hours. Well, I couldn't, and I don't think it's fair. I know there's these call centres that do, but just do what you're comfortable doing, but just make sure you do it. That's the easiest thing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, I think we're coming up to 20 minutes, which is a good length. Yeah. So let's talk final verdict then. So what's your final verdict?
I think customer word of mouth referrals are good. I had to look at my notes then to see remember what we're talking about. They are good. They are good for your ego, and I think they are good. I mean, I think if you've got a well-established business, then there will be a point where you probably can rely on word of mouth, but it's a long old trek. You know, it's you're going to have a fair few customers to get to that point. I think, like I say, I think word of mouth's good for your ego, but it's not good for your bank balance. You need to have some other more tangible, more controllable ways of getting leads into your business.
Yeah, I'm going to go with word of mouth. Important, almost invaluable to a painter and decorator. You absolutely need to have it, and a proportion of your work should well be coming from word of mouth, but you absolutely can't get lazy. You can't rely on it. You've got to have multiple streams of bringing new business in. Even if you think you can rely on word of mouth, I think it's better not to completely rely on it. I think you should always have some other bits going on in the background, just in case. I don't think it's worth the stress.
No, exactly.
Of sitting there waiting for the phone to ring. You might well be fine, and 99% of the time you might well be fine. But things can change very quickly. All it takes is a couple of people to cancel because of COVID or whatever it might be, and then, oh God, there's a gap in my calendar. What am I going to do? And then you just look at the phone and think, "Oh, are you going to ring?" And then, it only seems to ring when you're really busy, doesn't it? It never rings when you need it.
Yeah.
So
it's all or nothing, isn't it? All the time.
So I think you've got to have multiple marketing tactics in your armory so that you're not wholly reliant on one thing, whether that's word of mouth or Facebook ads or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And find time to work on it, even if it's 15 minutes a day or a couple of hours on a Friday once a week. Just be consistent with it, and it will pay off in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trev, that's awesome. Thank you very much. So tell us a little bit about where we can hear some more from you. 2Decks1 Mic back weekly.
2Decks. Well, yeah, we're actually there. We're doing quite well. So Ron and I are back with the podcast. That seems to be picking up where I left off. So touch wood, none all the listeners still seem to be there, thank goodness. Getting some nice emails has taken us for cheering up their days, which is good. The YouTube channel, I've been a little bit lax on that lately. So painting and decorating tips by TJ, so I've got to get on that a little bit more. But yeah, just generally keep myself busy and trying to keep out of trouble.
Awesome. Thank you very much. If you want any more from me, you can go to my website, jmears.co.uk/ebook, and you can get a free copy of my latest ebook, which is all about marketing. Trev, thank you very much. We'll get you back for another one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to help.
Thanks very much, Trev. Speak soon.
Cheers, John. Take care.
Cheers.